Hey guys, this is Elle. Welcome back to my channel. So recently, I've been reading on all kinds of doll news channels that the Bratz are making a comeback, and of course, I'm super excited about this. I did not collect these back when they were out in the stores. At that time, I believe the only thing I was actually buying were the Mycene dolls, and I wasn't really even collecting those. I was just picking up my, favorites here and there. So of course, it's got me really excited because now we get a chance to pick up some new Bratz dolls. And as I was reading the list of the 2021 comeback, I started noticing that a lot of them were re-releases that were listed on there. Like the first 4 from 2001 are being re-released. And then also the Bratz Rock Angelz, which I researched them and they are so damn cute. They scream early 2000s fashions, with those whole bell-bottom distressed jeans and the moto jackets. And I was thinking this would make a really cool video if I actually redid all of those girls as a reboot and not just a reissue. So Yasmin here is actually the only Bratz doll that I own. I really love her. She's one of the Hayden Williams collector's issue from 2018. And I really need to get the rest because they are so damn cute. She's fully articulated, so I'm hoping that these dolls that are being re-released in 2021 are going to also be fully articulated because of course that would make them so much more worth it to collect. So when I was doing the Barbie extra video for Candy Queen, I noticed that there was people that were commenting and saying like, oh, well, she doesn't look like, a Barbie extra. She looks more like a K-pop star. And I really like that comment because they have great style. Let's just be honest. So I thought, you know what, let's approach this Bratz reboot as a K-pop group. They're still gonna be Rock Angelz, of course, but they're gonna have K-pop aesthetic styling. And I'm super excited to do this. Yeah, let's just get right into it and start off with Sasha from the Rock Angelz.
Sasha.
So like always, we start off with a fashion figure, and I've already popped on that Bratz head mold. So for Sasha's outfit, I am taking inspiration from one of the girls from Blackpink. I actually have not heard any of their music other than the songs they've released with Lady Gaga and with Selena Gomez. I am going to look more into their music. I kind of feel like I will end up liking them, so yeah, maybe I'll just become a fan of Blackpink. But anyways, back to her outfit. I did also take more inspiration for her boots, but I made them a little bit less chunky at the bottom so they looked a little bit less goth and a little bit more fashion forward. Now to her jacket. Instead of doing that half button up that the girl is wearing on the picture, I opted for a half moto jacket. I wanted to include jackets or an edgy type of jacket with each girl because I noticed that that is what was a theme for the original series. They all had these cool little jackets that must have been trendy at that time. So I wanted to make sure that I continue that on these girls. Now let's give some additional details to these boots, and they remind me a lot of some All Saints boots I used to have that I used to wear all the time. When I went out, I would style my outfits around those damn boots. I must have wore them for like 3 years straight. Another thing I will be keeping from the original girls is their hats. These oversized page boy hats are something that I see really making a comeback right now, so they look totally fashionable. And with Sasha, I'm giving her a soft wave hairstyle with one braid on one side just to give her a little bit of edge. I feel like this is a more updated style than just the stick bone straight hairstyle that the original girls had. Now let's jump in and give this girl some color, and the more I look at these lines, the more I see a parallel type of comparison to the Mycene girls. And I didn't know this at that time when I was picking up those Mycene girls, that they were literally iterations of Bratz dolls that had already happened. Either way, they kind of addressed them in such a different way that I did like the Mycene versions as well. But it's just crazy to see how similar these lines were, like the Forever Diamonds dolls compared to the My Bling Bling dolls. I mean, it was basically the same line, but in 2 different brands. Here I'm playing around with the option of a skirt on her, and you'll see that later on I kind of ditched this idea because it didn't fit her aesthetic. I feel like Sasha has a more of a hip hop flavor type of style, and this skirt just was not giving me that vibe. So now let's go in and start shading this girl out a bit. And while I'm doing this, I wanted to ask you guys if you guys were also going to be picking up any of those new comeback Bratz line dolls. I feel like I definitely want to have the Rock Angelz girls, but then I'm also thinking about that first edition re-release, and I'm thinking that if I don't get those, I'll probably regret it. So I kind of want to get those as well. And that's actually a slippery slope because if I start another collection, I don't know where I'm gonna house those girls. And then as far as the 20-year anniversary collector dolls that are like speculated to also be released, I'm gonna have to wait off on those and see if I actually like them to pick those up because they're $60 a pop. That's crazy. So now back to this sketch, I am going in and adding highlights to her hair to really make those waves pop. And I'm really loving how this is turning out. Now let's go back into her outfit to add additional details as well as adding shading to create depth. Here I'm also going into her boots and adding additional shading and highlights to create that leather look. And let's also add those highlights and shading to that fingerless glove to give it that leather look. And here I'm going into all this effort to give this skirt a denim feel with shading, highlights, and texture. And at the end, I just end up swapping it back into those pants that I initially had drawn because, like I said, it was not giving me that hip hop vibe that Sasha has. And here I'm moving up to her hat and giving it shading and highlights and some more texture and also that piping that the original one had. And with the studs on the brim of the hat, I thought it was a cute touch as well. But then I wanted to make it a little bit different from the original, so I started giving it this almost like jelly-like transparent look with like encapsulated glitter, and I really love the way it turned out. I also wanted to continue that glitter theme into her top, so I included it in the red parts of the bustier. Moving down to her boots, I wanted to give them the same feel that her pants had from the original doll. And you know how the pants had that stripe in the front that was red with some kind of like studding on it or something? So I decided to interpret that with red laces on her boots. Let's also add some of that red lacing to her jacket to tie it in. And let's also add this piece to the growing list of things that I've designed for these dolls that I also want for myself. So to make this outfit a little bit more nostalgic, I will be including the tattoos from the original doll line into all of these new designs. And on her, I'm going to be putting it on her sleeve as a glitter applique. And as all of you guys are probably aware, Sasha's was a red rose with 3 green leaves. And here I'm swapping that skirt out again into the pants that I initially drew. I like these much better, and I'm including that denim wash on them as well as a glitter side stripe with some hardware details on her hip. Now let's switch gears and move up to her face and start painting. And we're starting off with giving her a very smoky eye with a cut crease in gold glitter with a little bit of glitter in her center parts of her eyes, as well as giving her a very dark type of mauve blush and very, very dark matte red lips. I really love this 90s looking matte lip. And then we're also going in and darkening in her eyebrows because she needs to have some fierce, fierce brows. Here I'm trying out different shapes of earrings, and then I decide just to go with a classic gold hoop. And then I also decided that I wanted to give her necklaces, but when I saw it all together, I kind of opted to cancel out the necklaces and just keep her hoops as the main focus. Now let's go in and give it those signature Mendoza gram touches, like all of those sparkles and my signature. And here is Sasha, all complete. I am totally in love with her. She came out so dang cute. I'm loving her aesthetic with all of the glitter details, like on her hat, on her bustier, the side of her jeans, and how all the red is just incorporated throughout the outfit. I have to say that she looks totally fierce and still encapsulates that modern hip hop look that I feel Sasha would be rocking now in 2021. So with Jade, I wanted to give her a very fierce pose, and then after I give her that, I will pop on that Bratz head mold. And Jade has got to be one of my favorite characters just because I feel like she's definitely the trendiest and she is the fashion designer of the group, so I kind of feel like I have more in common with her. So taking that into account, I went in and designed every piece, really thinking about how I can make each piece the trendiest that it could possibly be. And starting off with this bustier, I wanted it to have like almost sharp corners in the inner part, as well as having the hem be almost like a garter strap type of shape. And being that bell bottoms are totally chic again, I wanted to incorporate them with her because she is the trendsetter and the trendiest, and I feel like she would be on to that newest trend. But I wanted to make them a little bit more different, so what I did is I actually made them into that super famous RuPaul Drag Race chap aesthetic that all the girls love to do. But I made them almost like a raw edged on the inner parts, and then included the pocket flaps on the outside. Now moving on to her jacket, I wanted to give her a cropped moto style because I didn't want it to get in the way of her pants. I wanted those to remain the main focus of her outfit. Here I'm updating her hat with a beret style instead of what she originally came with. I feel like it looks a little bit trendier on her and it really fits the aesthetic of her outfit. Now let's move on to filling our girl out with some solid color, and if you haven't noticed by now, I'm trying to keep all of the color story for each individual girl as close as possible to the original line so that it kind of has a connection to it but still have an updated look. Now let's go in and start adding some shading to her face as well as the rest of her body. Shading out these Bratz faces was so much fun because they have these little features like those tiny ass noses and the large heads that you can really play around with the light and the shadows. It was just so much fun. Now let's go in and add additional shading to the rest of her outfit. Let's also not forget to add that denim texture to her bell-bottom denim chaps. Let's move over to her jacket and start adding some shading as well as adding stud details to the lapel of the jacket to give it a little bit of edge. Here I decide to add some fishnet details to tie back to Sasha on her legs and on one sleeve. Now let's move on to her hair and start giving it some shading to really create depth as well as adding all of those platinum blonde highlights like the original doll had. Let's also add some stripes to her hat to make it more interesting. Here I'm adding top stitching details to her hat, her top, and the shorts to give it a little bit more interest. Now let's add additional accessories to Jade's outfit like this fingerless mesh glove to one of her hands, as well as adding rings to the bottom part of her top and the shoulder epaulets of her jacket. And then I opted for some oversized hoop earrings that are layered with smaller hoops to give it a little bit more interest and make them a little bit different from Sasha's. And then I layered a ball chain choker with a longer necklace to give it a little bit more of an edgy feel. So the way I decided what type of accessories and jewelry I was gonna put on her was basically thinking, if I were to dress like this, what would I finish this look off with? And this is why I chose these particular pieces. So needless to say, I am a big fan of the way she's looking. I really think she looks like a trendsetter. I love her so far. And now it's time to beat that Bratz mug, and I'm opting for a mid-toned lipstick here with also a matte finish, so I will not be adding shine to that. And then for her eyes, I decided to go with almost a purplish, grayish type of smoky eye with a silver cut crease and a mauve blush to finish the entire look off. I love the way these colors look on her. With her brown eyes, she looks amazing. And here, just like Sasha, I'm including Jade's tattoo as a glittery applique on the sleeve of her jacket. Hers is a little floral type of motif with some swirls on each side, which I have to say, those swirls are giving me throwbacks to all those barbed wire tattoos that the guys used to have around their biceps. But I did not want to change it because I wanted to keep it as true to the original doll as possible. Here I'm revising her pants to make them hit the floor, as well as making her shoes actually larger so they really give it that Bratz feel. Now let's finish off those jeans with some white side stitching. Finally, let's give her those last touches like shading in her pocket bags and adding all those signature Mendoza Graham sparkles, and then finishing her off with my signature. And here is the completed Jade. I really love how she looks. She totally looks like she's in a K-pop band, and she fits so well alongside Sasha. I can't wait to get to Yasmin. I think that they're coming out great so far, and this girl definitely looks like she is a trendsetter. She looks like she's a little bit more hip than Sasha, but they are still friends. So definitely happy with the way they're turning out so far. So for Yasmin, again, we start with a fashion figure and that Bratz head mold. So since Yasmin is known as the pretty princess of the group, I wanted to give her a feminine yet edgy outfit. For the feminine part, I wanted to do this bustier that's gonna have a little lace ruffle at the hem. And then for the edgy part, I wanted to give her this transparent long sleeve cold shoulder top that's gonna be made out of lace. And then to balance the top portion of her outfit, which is very girly and feminine, I wanted to give her some distressed cut-off jean shorts that have the pocket bags peeking out of the frayed hem. And since my girl is wearing shorts and not full-length bell-bottom pants, I wanted to give her thigh-high boots to make up for those pants. And now let's give Ms. Yasmin her original white hat from the line and a long, luscious, wavy hairstyle. And let's also not forget to give her that motorcycle jacket like Sasha and Jade. Now let's jump in and fill our girl out with some solid color, and I'm loving all of these so far. Which one is your fave so far? Sound off in the comments section below. I'd love to hear all of your guys' thoughts. Let's go in here and Bratzify her feet by making them a little bit larger. Now let's continue to fill her out with some solid color. And she's always been my favorite character. I always seem to gravitate towards the doll that's Yasmin for some reason. But now, more that I look into the dolls, the more I kind of like Jade a little bit more. I feel like her fashions are a little bit edgier, and I'm totally into that. Now let's add a floral design to that long sleeve top to really make it look like lace. Let's shade out Yasmin's skin to give her a tanned, bronzed complexion. So I'm definitely curious to hear all of your guys' thoughts on the Bratz dolls in general. Since I wasn't a collector when they were originally out in the stores, I would love to hear who you guys like the most. Is it Yasmin, Sasha, Jade, or any of the other girls, Roxy, Chloe. I definitely want to hear all your thoughts, or what are your favorite lines from Bratz? I know one of my favorites is Forever Diamonds. I definitely want to get all those girls, and I'm hoping that we get a re-release of those also in, what is it, 2021 or 2022? I'm not sure what year we're going to be getting these. If you guys know, sound off below. Now let's jump back into the sketch and add some denim texture to these shorts. Moving down to her boots, let's add some shading and highlights to really give it that leather look. Now let's give that oversized page boy hat some shading and some top stitching. Jumping over to her jacket, let's add some white stripe details, as well as adding the Thunderbolt tattoo motif from her original doll line to the jacket sleeves and also to her boots. Now let's go in and shade out and add details to her gorgeous brown hair. She really does have the best hair out of all the girls in the line. That's probably why I gravitate towards Yasmin's character whenever I'm picking a new doll out of any new doll line that Bratz releases. Now let's add some additional red details to the bustier to tie it in to the rest of the outfit. And let's make this outfit a little bit girlier by adding some glitter touches here and there. Let's also add a black glitter choker. And now it's time to start painting Yasmin's face. And I wanted to start off by giving her a rust-colored smoky eye with a light red cut crease and some dark mauve blush, as well as giving her a matte burgundy lip with a little bit of shine. Let's also darken and ombre her eyebrows. Let's also give Yasmin some extremely oversized hoop earrings so she can look like she's part of that K-pop group that Sasha and Jade already belong to. And last but not least, let's add those sparkles and of course my signature. And finally, here is Yasmin, all complete. I totally love her. I really think that she encapsulates that K-pop look perfectly, and she's gonna look amazing with the other two girls. I really love how I incorporated all the reds throughout her look, like her eyeshadow, her lips, on her top, her boots. She came out so cute, and I'm dying to know what you guys all think. And I know that if I don't put all of these three girls together for you guys, I will never hear the end of it in the comment section. So here you go. Here are all three girls. I am totally in love with them. They look so good. They actually do look like they're part of a K-pop group, right? I mean, all of that red is totally tying them in. And I love how fashion forward their pieces are. Now, like always, I want them in doll form, which will probably never happen, but one can only wish. So who's your favorite out of these three? And also, would you guys like to see Chloe and Roxy, the remaining girls from the Rock Angelz group? If you guys do, make sure you sound your butts off below in the comment section. And like always, please remember to smash that like button, subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss any of my future videos, and please share this video with all your friends. It would really help me out a lot. In addition, please remember you can follow me on Instagram with the name mendozagram.art, where you can see cool doll photography and join in on questionnaires for future content on this channel. And I'll see all of you in my next video.